We just finished this 96 Teal Pontiac Firebird. It is for sale. And it's raining. Okay, here's an update. We have the black car back in here, getting the transmission taken out. We have the Ain't Care 5.3 getting wired up, and we have a board up here with a lot of information on it, and our deadlines. These are the big ones. This is what I want to tell you about for sure. Today's date is the 25th. The big thing I'm worried about is the dyno, March 10th. We're still waiting on our Turbo 400 transmission to get back. Then after we get it back, then we'll have to do all this stuff over again. And we don't buy like a lot of pre-made parts. We make a lot of stuff like the cross member and the adapter for the torque arm to go to the cross member and stuff like that, where, you know, it'd be a lot easier to just buy it, but we just make it. So we have to remake a lot of that stuff over again. I'm going back to school May 8th, and it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I'm just now getting the opportunity to do it. But that'll be a full-time deal for the summer. I believe it's 15 weeks, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. So I got that going on, and then the neglection race is May 19th and 20th. Okay, I want to get here, but right now the dyno is the main thing we're focusing on. Now, this engine, it's just basically a factory 5.3 but with an LS7 cam in it, and while I'm trying to get it wired up, this engine is actually for Bill Gates. Now, Bill Gates, I know I haven't put him in a video yet, and it's because we've been so busy getting cars in and out of here that I didn't take the time to make a video the other day while the car was in here. We got it in here, stripped a bunch of stuff off the front end of it, power washed it, painted it under the hood, and now it's ready for this engine. And I've got these fancy plates from this LSX Innovations. I've not tried these yet, these ones, but they look like they'll work just fine. But I don't know if you can see it out there. That is the back end of a 1986 Pontiac Grand Prix. So the next time it's in here, I'll definitely make a video on it to tell you all about it. But man, that car is so funny. Like, it has LED lights on it everywhere, and great big pillow seats in it, you know, from the 80s, and that'd be a cool car. So anyways, we're on big deadlines. The March 10th one was the big one. The green car that was in here the other day is supposed to be being sold today. We just stuck the transmission back in it a few nights ago, and we just put it on Craigslist yesterday morning. And then yesterday evening, there was a guy saying he's coming to buy it. But we'll see. If he does, then we'll order all tubular front end, the front suspension and stuff for this car, and a few other small things. But here's the issue. I can get this engine ready to go and just, you know, here over the weekend, wiring it up. You can tell I do a good job with wiring. Now, this is just a mess that I've thrown on another engine, but I am an electronics technician, and I've worked on some pretty crazy stuff, some military applications, and I've always wanted to make a video on wiring up these LS engines for a standalone setup. I feel like at home I do a shameful job compared to what I can do at work, but I don't want to make the same video as everybody else on how to wire up these engines. So there's plenty of information out there, but once I get this done, I'll give you a rundown on what I did and what I used, and hopefully it turns out okay. I have no fear of it running. I've already got a PCM sitting here that I've already got EFI Live on, so I'll use it. But the other problem is a transmission. We don't have a transmission for this car, for this Grand Prix, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. You know, if a Turbo 400 were to happen to roll my way, then I would take it. But I'm looking for a 4L80E, and I found some on Craigslist, and I found some really good deals on Craigslist, but they're all like 2 and 3 hours away, and I'm not exactly ready for that transmission just yet. So I'm just holding off until I get this thing wired up, and I'll run it. I will run it here on where it sits. I've got a fuel pump set up that I'll stick in a gas jug, and I will run this engine right here where it sits. I'll put my laptop on it so we can see some gauges, and I'll get a video of that. So we'll see what comes of this. Let's see, how many days we got left? Not very many before the dyno. Yeah. So hopefully for our subscribers, it gives you something to kind of get worked up about. You know, we're trying really hard. The owner of this car, he goes to school and he works. He's a Navy vet, and he's super busy 7 days a week. How we find time to work on these cars, I don't know. I get a little bit more time, but I work so much less and I make so much less money that it's hard for me to get anything done. Not because I don't have the time, but because the funds just aren't there. But we are trying so hard. Like I said, once we get the transmission back, then we have to get it shoved in this car. We still got to wire up the meth kit and remake the cross member, do something about drive shaft. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm so tired. All right. Hopefully within the next couple days I'll have a good update for you, and maybe Bill Gates will be back in here. Maybe.